Hello everyone, my name is Diana Trejo, and today I'll be walking you through the survey tool that you will be using during the homeless count. I'll also be highlighting some important notes for you to keep in mind about particular questions along the way. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, we're going to cover some logistics of the survey tool. The survey will be administered primarily using your mobile device, such as a smartphone or tablet. You don't need to download a separate app to access the survey. As long as you have reliable internet connection, you'll be good to go. There are two different versions of the survey, mobile and paper. We strongly encourage the use of the mobile survey whenever possible because it streamlines the process for you as a surveyor with built-in skip logic for questions. This means you will be automatically directed to the next question based on the respondent's answer. There are also two different types of the survey, the full version and the observation-only version, which I'll explain in further detail shortly. There's also a paper backup of the survey, which should only be used in specific situations, such as if you encounter a family or someone who speaks Spanish. You would also use the paper backup version if your internet connection drops while you're administering the survey, or if the person you are surveying feels uncomfortable with the mobile format. All questions on the paper survey match up exactly with the mobile version. There will be two different ways for you to access the survey. On the day of the count, you'll receive an email in the morning containing a direct link to the survey. The link will be activated later in the evening before the start of your shift. The link will also be posted on our Pasadena Partnership website at pasadenapartnership.org/homelesscount if you're having difficulty with your email or prefer to access it that way. Please do not share this link with anyone other than the team members in your assigned zone to maintain data integrity. To open the survey, you can click directly on the link provided to you via email. Or, if you're accessing the survey through the Pasadena Partnership website, you'll click on the Let's Get Started button in the green box. Once you do this, a pop-up window will appear prompting you to begin by clicking the Start Survey button. I wanted to quickly go over some survey basics before we move forward. This one is really important, so make sure you take note of it. You should read each question to the participant, but do not read the responses they can choose from. Just ask the question and let the participant respond in their own words. There is one exception to this rule, specific to a question asking about long-term health conditions. For this question, you will read off each response one by one, but for all other questions, select the option that best matches the response provided by the participant. You want to make sure that you answer all of the questions. Otherwise, the system will not allow you to submit the survey. You'll notice that once the demographic questions are complete, you will have the option to select Dropped Out of Survey for each question. If you click Drop Out, you will automatically be redirected to the location questions at the end of the survey. Ask for your name, then the survey will end upon submission. If a participant drops out of the survey in the beginning when you're collecting the demographic information, follow the guidance provided under the question. As I mentioned earlier, there are two versions of the survey. The full survey is to be completed whenever possible, and the participant you are talking to is willing to engage. The full survey will automatically begin once you select Yes to the introduction passage. The reason why we emphasize completing the full survey whenever possible is because it allows for optimal data collection and also creates a unique identifier for each person that we can use to deduplicate if needed. If a full survey is not possible, you can complete an observation-only survey. Some examples of when you would complete an observation-only survey are when a person declines to participate or if a person is sleeping in an area that may be unsafe or inaccessible to volunteers. There are some instances when you should not survey someone, including if they indicate they've already been surveyed, if you or one of your team members has already surveyed them, or if the person tells you they are not homeless. People who self-identify as not being homeless should not have surveys completed on their behalf. When you click the Start Survey button, you'll be directed to this opening prompt. You can read exactly what is on the introduction screen, or you can paraphrase the greeting in your own words, but please read each survey question as you see it, word for word, to maintain consistency. The most important thing to confirm during your greeting is if the person is currently experiencing homelessness and if they are willing to participate. If they are homeless but decline to participate, you will be directed to complete the observation-only survey. If they are homeless and are willing to participate, you will be redirected to the full survey. So here I'm going to go over some navigation basics of the survey tool. Most questions will automatically advance for you based on the response you select. Some questions will allow you to select more than one response. To advance to the next question, make sure you select the OK button with the green check mark if there are multiple responses. Some questions prompt you to enter a text answer. To advance, once you've entered the text, you will also select the OK button with the green check mark. If for some reason you need to navigate between questions, you can click the caret symbols in the bottom corner of your screen to go back or move forward. There are some questions that allow you to select an other response and should be utilized when the participant provides an answer that does not fall into the category of pre-populated responses. If you would like to utilize this option, click on the other response. You will be prompted to type your answer in the text box. Once you type in your answer, you'll click on the check mark to accept the response. Once you're finished, you'll need to select the green OK button with the check mark to move forward to the next question. So now I'll be going through and highlighting some key points about the survey for you to keep in mind as you go along. The second question in the survey is specific to where the person will be sleeping that night if you're asking the question during the evening shift, or where they'll sleep last night if you're asking the question during the morning shift. The survey includes all areas in Pasadena we expect you as volunteers to encounter. If you click on one of the options that has an X next to it as shown here, it will automatically end the survey for you because these are people who do not meet the HUD definition of homelessness and therefore are not included in the unsheltered count. I'd recommend you familiarize yourself with all of these options using the test link I'll be sharing with you all to practice on. After the place of stay question, you'll be prompted to ask about children. If an adult participant responds yes, that there are children under the age of 18 sleeping with them, the mobile survey will end and you should switch to a paper survey. In this situation, at the end of the paper survey, you will be asked to collect demographic information, including gender, ethnicity, and race, on each child living with the adult. Ethnicity determines whether a person is of Hispanic origin or not. For this reason, ethnicity is broken out into two categories: Hispanic or Latino, and not Hispanic or Latino. People who identify as Hispanic may report any race in the following question, as ethnicity and race are considered to be separate and distinct. Please note that ethnicity is only asked in the fuller survey and not the observation-only survey. When asking participants about their race, we offer the option to select multiple races that people identify with. Please be sure to select as many races as people indicate. Only select the prefer not to say or don't know option if the participant declines to give their race. If a person indicates Hispanic or Latino for their race, use the other option. Please note that race is only asked in the full survey and not the observation-only survey. If you're completing an observation-only survey, you'll be asked if there are any identifying characteristics of the person you are surveying before recording your location. You are not required to include anything here, but please utilize this section if you feel like there could be something helpful to reduce potential duplication. Some examples of identifying characteristics could include wearing a bright green jacket or carrying a guitar. The long-term health condition question is the only question where you will read each of the responses to the participant. You will start by reading the entire question and then reading off each response one by one and selecting all of the disabilities the participant indicates they have. Only record what the participant says they have, not based on your own assumptions as the surveyor. You have the ability to select multiple responses for this question. So, as an example, you'll start by saying, have you ever been told or do you think that you might have any of the following permanent or long-term health conditions? And then proceed by asking, a physical disability? And wait for a yes or no response. If they say yes, select the response. If they say no, move on and ask a developmental disability, and so on. Repeat this until you have read all of the options to the participant. After you complete all the questions, you will be asked to record your approximate location. This is very important and something we have had to contact volunteers about every year during the count. It's critical that you be as specific as possible when recording your location. I'd encourage you to utilize Google Maps if that is available to you on your mobile device to determine an exact address, or you can drop a pin and copy-paste the coordinates directly into the text box. If you do not know the address and Google Maps is not an option for you, Please be as specific as possible with cross streets or defining landmarks. If you're on the corner of Marengo and Walnut, we need you to specify exactly which corner you are on. Is it the northwest or the southeast corner? This is important because the zones border each other and oftentimes there is overlap. If you are at a common location, such as a Starbucks or a Subway, please explicitly state which one you are at and don't just type Starbucks. There are oftentimes multiple Starbucks locations within a particular zone, and we don't know which one you're at based off of a generic location. On the night of the count, we will be monitoring responses as they come in, and we will call you directly if we notice discrepancies in your location information. Once you get to the end of the survey and enter your location information and name, a green Submit button will appear, and you will be prompted to click it in order for your response to be recorded in the system. If you click the Submit button and have missing responses, you will automatically be redirected to the first missing question that requires an answer. From there, you will go through and fill in any responses as needed, as directed by the system. Once all errors are fixed, you will be redirected to the screen with the Submit button, and you can move forward with submitting your survey. Once your survey has been successfully submitted, you will be displayed with a message noting that your information was sent perfectly. This is your indication that the system has received your survey response, and you can start a new one when needed. To restart the survey, you can press the refresh icon on your screen and it will restart when you're ready. Alternatively, you can access the survey link in your email or on the Pasadena Partnership website to start a new survey. Now you can go ahead and use this test link to familiarize yourself with the survey tool and do a couple practice rounds of both the full survey and the observation-only survey. If you have any questions specific to the survey questions, or if you need technical assistance as you navigate the survey, please contact me directly via email at dtrejo@cityofpasadena.net. Thank you.